I did not. I stopped it now. I'll have that part cut out.
Okay. So we have yet to reorganize for this board. So I'll read the statement and then we'll start through on the agenda. And if we have another member in attendees, you can just bring them in. Okay. Okay, welcome to our Operations Committee meeting, SAU21, on May 13th, 2021. As interim superintendent of SAU21 and acting chair of the Operations Committee, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I'm confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We're utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the SAU21 Operations Committee have the ability to communicate contemporaneously through this meeting, through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number, 646-876-9923, and webinar ID 827-3868-8058, or by clicking on the website address listed on the agenda. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided on the website of the SAU21 office at www.sau21.org. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem, please call 603-926-8992, extension 103, or email at revans@sau21.org. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there's anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. We'll now take the roll call.
Jim Kine.
Present, yeah, with family in and out.
Jason Farias is absent. Leslie LaFond.
Present and alone.
Danielle Strader.
Present and may have people in and out.
And Jen Hubbard.
Present with family.
Okay, I have the roll call taken.
Thank you. Now I'll be looking for nominations for the Operations Committee Chair. Do I have any nominations?
Jump it.
Didn't we historically do the town that was going to be next for joint board? Was that this one, or was that vice chair?
It's vice chair of the
joint board.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that if you want.
I'm the only new member. I'm curious on if others have been on the committee.
I'm new also, so I have no clue what's going on.
So really the purpose of this committee is to set the agenda for the joint board. Okay. So what you see here on this agenda is what we're proposing to move forward to the joint board on May 25th. Okay. And so there's an operations committee meeting before every joint board meeting. So it's typically 3 or 4 weeks ahead of every joint board meeting. So much of the conversation and the decisions are around motion to move things forward to the joint board. So it is kind of a different kind of committee and a different kind of chair responsibility.
Got it. And who was the committee chair and vice chair before today? Or who is, or did they leave the board, or is Leslie or Jim?
Every year it gets reset, so.
Okay.
Yeah. The last year's operations committee chair was Mike Rabideau, and
Okay.
he's not even a board member anymore.
Got it.
Jim Keim was the vice chair last year.
Jim, you want to do it?
I nominate Jim.
I was,
Oh, wait a
Sorry,
second,
Jim.
you guys are gonna really dig me in.
That was quick.
I was trying
Do
to
you
get
like that one? Yeah, I
Uh,
think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, Jim's
can do-
good.
I can do it, that's fine.
I was a strategy to my questions, if you hadn't.
Yeah, I
figured
know, you
Smart,
guys got it
Danielle, I
all
like
figured out.
that.
Well done.
And then
So-
Leslie for the vice chair.
You know what, Jen? You know what?
So we're going to go ahead and get a vote on Jim as the operations committee chair.
Was that a motion?
Jen, I am going to look up your address, by the way, because I will get you.
I'll
So
give it to
voting
you.
on Jim as the operations committee chair, I have Jen making the motion and Leslie seconding that. Jim Keim,
Yes,
Leslie LaFawn,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jen Hubbard.
Yes.
All right, that vote's recorded. Congratulations, Jim.
Yay.
Thanks, Jim.
yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
So am I gonna take it from here?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So just so you know, I'm on my phone, so I don't have Board Docs up, so I'm gonna need some help on the agenda. Obviously, the next is gonna be vice chair.
That's right.
So is there a nomination for vice chair?
I don't want to get in
sounds like-
trouble by Leslie.
Nah. Go ahead. That's fine. I don't
I
mind.
nominate Leslie for vice chair. You guys are just so good.
Is there a
I
second?
appreciate that. But it's by the seat of our pants now.
Danielle, do you want a second?
I'll second, yes, go, yeah.
Let's do the roll call vote.
Okay, Jim Keim,
Yes.
Leslie LaFawn,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jennifer Hubbard.
Yes, thank you,
All right.
guys.
Congratulations, Leslie, as the vice chair.
Thanks.
All right, great. I do
So now
apologize.
minutes.
I didn't memorize the agenda for this one, so
That's
sorry.
no
Minute.
problem.
All right, so consideration of the minutes, it was March, what was the date? March
11.
12th.
March
11th.
11th. I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'll second. If I'm allowed to. I wasn't, was I?
Yeah, you can
That's a good,
second
yeah,
it.
that, yeah, you
Yeah.
can second.
Yeah, that's after the vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Jim
I-
Keim,
got it.
Yes,
Leslie LaFawn,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jennifer Hubbard.
Abstain, right? Because I wasn't there.
Okay,
yeah, Danielle, you may want to consider, were you there?
That's right. I can't remember when we were elected.
Actually, yeah, you might not have been.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
You probably should abstain.
I'm
okay,
abstaining, I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. Somebody,
That's
That's okay.
all right.
Okay,
someone else to second it instead
Oh,
of.
second.
No,
Oh, yeah.
You can second
Well,
it, you just
yeah, yeah.
vote
just
for it,
abstain
but
from
be
that.
abstaining. Okay, I have that vote recorded.
Great,
Perfect.
thank you.
So next,
Um,
Jim, is the policies.
Okay,
So I can.
and this is to move them to the joint board, right? The second read?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We just did it a little differently this time because we have it separated out two groups of policies. The larger group of policies is going to be moved on to the joint board for second read and adoption. While there is a smaller list, 3 policies that are high school specific. So they'll be on the agenda for their information. However, we'll bring them to the Winnicott board in June for second read and adoption.
Okay, great. So can I get a motion?
I recommend we moved for the second read and adoption at the May 25th joint board meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jim Keim,
Yes.
Leslie LaFawn,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jennifer Hubbard.
Yes.
Okay, I have that vote recorded.
Next one is the interim superintendent goals.
Okay.
Jim.
Would you like me to
Yeah.
review our conversation there? Okay. So, Leslie and I talked about this as well. These are the goals that we brought forward for my goals for this term as interim superintendent, January to June 30th. What we discussed is that, you know, it should probably look like a different kind of process to evaluate the interim superintendent at this time. In years past, the regular process is a more involved kind of online voting system, whereas this is, you know, obviously a shorter term, only 3 goals. So what we discussed was for me to provide a reflection after each one of the goals and bring that to the joint board to review. And then the joint board can review and discuss in non-public and generate a response to that and provide that in writing. Did I cover that correctly, Leslie?
Right, yep, exactly. And then we would just have a letter from the joint board when we're in public, you know, stating that you know, the goals were met, whatever it is. So there'll just be a letter that can go in your file as an evaluation, rather than, like we talked about, sending something out to all the boards, waiting, you know, that big, long process. Like we said, 3 goals, how we've met those, you'll give us your take on them and we'll discuss it. And then you'll have a letter that will go in, that can go in your file.
That's right.
Okay.
So I think this item is just for discussion.
Yeah.
No
Does
vote
that
needed.
work for everybody?
So, yeah, I guess, Caroline, are you good with that approach? I just want to,
Thank you. Yes, I am. You know, I feel like, you know, it's something that both parties, we need to fulfill, but we also don't need to make it, you know, more arduous than necessary. So I think this is fair given the circumstances.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's a great setup. So,
Thank you.
Jen, Danielle, you guys have any feelings?
No, it's pretty clear and concise and hits on targets that they want to be addressed. So it looks great.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I
All
think this
good.
is, all right, perfect. It's consistent with some of the discussion we had in the last joint board meeting too, that this is an area we wanted to discuss in the upcoming joint board meeting. So seems perfect actually. So.
And I would probably just add the communication's been great thus far. I really enjoyed it. It kind of keeps me grounded as well as a parent and a board member. So much appreciated. And it's not too long and it's not too short. It's not too laborious. It's like perfect.
It's
So.
just right.
Just right.
Right.
Just right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So.
I would echo that too. Everything's been fantastic. So.
Thank you. Remember that for our next meeting.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry. I haven't forgotten it all. So.
Thank you. Just kidding.
All right. All right, great. So I think we have a game plan there. Next on the agenda.
Finance report.
Yeah, so we're just, this is just our kind of end of year update on the financial health for the SAU budget year end. So both the expenditure and revenue reports are included. We are in good shape. Obviously, this was a unique year, so some of the accounts are a little odd when you look at them. So for example, you know, contracted services were over budget by $17,000. This is due to the superintendent search firm that we hired, as well as we contracted out you know, Bill Lupini to consult for this 6-month period. Additionally, our legal account is $10,000 over budget, which is in large part due to all of the ancillary effects of the pandemic and how to approach it from a legal perspective. negotiating with the union for our MOU, et cetera. On the other hand, we have savings because we were down a senior staff member since Caroline was selected as the interim. We did not fill her position, so we have $40,000 in savings there. It was slightly offset because we did have to pay out vacation time for Dr. Lupini. We had a health insurance is over budget because there was an unanticipated health plan that was picked up from one of our employees. And then if you look at our buildings, it appears that we're over budget by almost $60,000 in repair and maintenance, but that's really a misnomer. We actually are under budget in that account. That's a reflection of our windows and siding project. That was a $75,000 project, but we had set aside funds in our unreserved fund balance, which is currently at $190,000. So that's how that's being funded. It just is reflected in that account. So that's and for everyone's information, so you all are probably aware the individual school districts cannot carry an unreserved fund balance from year to year, but the SAU is allowed to maintain a fund balance. So you always hear me say an unreserved fund balance is returned to the town to offset tax assessment. That's the case in each of the individual school districts, but for the SAU budget, it's rolled over from year to year. Otherwise, we saw some savings in areas such as professional development. Obviously, we weren't attending, professional development, in person. Many of those were virtual events. Similarly, our salaries for district officers went up because we had so many joint board meetings. The recording secretary, we ended up paying the recording secretary for all those additional meetings. So it's a little, it's funny, you see some accounts with some significant balances and others, that are way over. But overall, we're about $60,000 under budget. We're in good shape to finish out this year. And 60,000 is actually is probably on the high. It's probably higher than typical, and it's really owing to some of these ancillary effects of the pandemic and being without a superintendent or not a superintendent but senior staff member for 6 months of the year. So otherwise, on the revenue side, it's pretty straightforward. We did receive a refund for health insurance, similar to all the individual school districts. So we'll probably have about $10,000 year end that over what we had anticipated on revenue side. But we're in good shape to end the year, and we're very excited about getting new windows and siding for our lovely building.
Yay.
We know
very
Rhonda
happy.
is. Yeah, exactly.
We actually have to reduce scope, so we're doing all the windows except for Rhonda's office.
I love it.
That's all right.
I'll be moving into your office, Matt.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Thank you, Matt. Where are we next on the agenda?
Superintendent contract.
Future
Yes.
So that's going to be a
meetings.
non-public, right?
Yeah.
And then is everything else non-public from what I remember, or is there anything?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
correct.
All right. So can I get a motion to go into non-public?
Motion to
Um,
go into non-public.
And do we have to call out what it?
Oh,
it is.
motion to go into non-public under RSA 91-A:3 A through E.
I'll
Mhm.
second.
Okay, Jim Kine,
Yes.
Leslie LaFond,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jen Hubbard.
Yes.
Okay. 5:52 p.m. You are in non-public. I will just simply lock the meeting because we have nobody out there.
Good.
Okay, the meeting
And
is
then
locked.
do you need it?
Yes, the recording
Great.
started. We just need that motion.
Can I get a
to end the
motion?
Non-public session and resume the public meeting.
Is there a second?
Second,
Jim Keim,
Yes.
Leslie LaFond,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jennifer Hubbard.
yes.
Okay, you are back in public meeting at 6:20 PM.
Great. Now, just since I don't have it in front of me, do we need to make a motion for the superintendent goals, the interim superintendent goals?
What we're gonna do is, I think that they've asked us to do recommend to move all personnel items forward to the joint board for consideration and approval.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to do that?
Recommend motion, yep, there we go. Recommend to move all personal items, yeah, put all of your things in, move all your personnel items forward to the joint board for consideration and approval.
Great. Is there a second?
Second,
Jim Keim,
Yes.
Leslie LaFond,
Yes.
Danielle Strader,
Yes.
and Jennifer Hubbard.
yes.
Okay, I have that vote recorded.
Great. And is that the end of the agenda?
Mhm.
It is.
Yes.
All right, great. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Great.
Or we don't have to second. I don't know.
All
Okay,
right,
I
so
think
is
you're
that unanimous, I assume?
Yeah, we can just show
Yeah.
a little wave and we'll be good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Right,
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Caroline, Matt,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
right.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.